The U.S. has announced plans to boost the nation's supply of monkeypox vaccines. The Department of Health and Human Services said it is making roughly 1.8 million doses of the vaccine available for order next week. The U.S. currently has more than 13,500 confirmed cases of monkeypox across 49 states. Joining us now is CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe. All right, Ed, with the additional doses, the vaccines coming in, what other steps are federal officials taking to try to prevent this from spreading further?
Good to see you, Scott. They're also boosting production of the vaccine and partnering with companies here in the United States to manufacture and package it and get it out as quickly as possible. They are responding now here in the Biden administration to accusations in the LGBTQ community among state and local leaders that perhaps the Biden administration didn't move fast enough to get enough vaccine supply out there with huge demand, 13,500 cases, as you said, but pent-up demand to get the vaccine in order to protect against possible spread. The other thing you're going to see in the coming weeks at the more local level is the Biden administration, federal officials partnering with local and state health departments to be at or to provide, information and testing at essentially, as it was described, pride events, gay pride events across the country. There's several coming up in the South, for example, that they cited. And they're going to focus especially on places where those that are most affected by this, more than 90% of the people who have it are men. Their average age is 35, and it is predominantly the LGBTQ community that is, been hit with this. The goal is to have federal officials partnering with state and local leaders to get the information out there, to test for it, to provide vaccine, and make sure people are following up eventually for a second dose once it's available. Either way, they're trying to stave off concerns that they didn't react fast enough to this by starting now a series of briefings, as they did during the COVID-19 pandemic, where federal officials brief reporters on a regular basis about the progress.
On a different issue, a supportive group of the president's is launching this $1 million ad campaign to promote the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act. I want to show part of the messages before I ask you about them.
Joe Biden promised to deliver for working families over special interests. That's what the Inflation Reduction Act does. Lowers prescription drug costs for millions of families. Lowers healthcare costs for millions of families. Lowers energy costs for millions of families. But every single MAGA politician voted against it, because when it really matters, they're on the side of special interests.
All right, Ed, $1 million doesn't buy a ton of airtime.
Nope.
So what does this do for the president's approval ratings?
It is part of a $35 million campaign that's been underway since last year. This group, Building Back Together, is sort of unique in the political space in that it was established by Biden campaign veterans, Biden allies, to essentially promote his policy, that he wanted passed and that has been passed by Congress. It sort of fills a void that Democrats feel should have been there back in 2010 when they passed the Affordable Care Act and then did a miserable job, they would agree, in selling and explaining it to the American people ahead of the midterm elections. This campaign, as it will expand over the course of the fall, plus millions of dollars now being spent by other left-leaning organizations, the League of Conservation Voters, for example, Third Way, that promotes moderate Democrats, are starting to unspool pretty vigorous campaigns in several states across the country with advertising similar to that. It's designed to literally give air cover on the air, in the digital space, on the radio, to Democrats as they go home over the course of the next few weeks to start explaining and defending what's been passed, not only the Inflation Reduction Act, but also the gun and mental health bill that was passed earlier this year, the bill designed to buoy the semiconductor industry, even the Infrastructure Act last year. Will it help Democrats? Well, if you look at recent polling, as unreliable as it may be in August, it is beginning to show that Democrats are creeping up or perhaps ahead of Republican candidates in some key races. And whether it's affecting the president's approval rating, as I've said before on this program, I don't think we'll get a good gauge of that until closer to Labor Day, once this advertising, once the other travel and messaging done by these Democrats starts to sink in.
So he's in the afterglow of this signature moment. Where is the president this week? What's he up to?
He's on vacation, Scott. I got to say, this is the longest stretch we've gone in sort of not seeing a president in a while. He spent about 6 days in South Carolina on Kiowa Island, and then came back here, of course, to sign the Inflation Reduction Act quickly on Tuesday, but then headed off to Delaware, where he's spending the rest of this week through next Tuesday. At least that's the current plan. So it's a roughly 2-week break. Look, most Americans get about 2 weeks of vacation. He's taking a bunch of it right now. White House aides point out he didn't get much of a summer vacation last year, and no matter where he is, he can still be president. But it is interesting that after COVID, that isolated him here at the White House, and then this vacation, it's been about a month since he was really out there on a regular basis. And yet, Scott, what does it say that his numbers may have stabilized and maybe in the process of turning around now? It's a message, perhaps, that this idea the Biden administration had coming in, or Biden aides had coming in, that less would be more, that a less present president in the lives of Americans might be what the country wants, may bear out here in the coming weeks. We'll see. He's going to hit the road. He's got stops next week in Pennsylvania, for example. At some point, he's got a visit to Ohio. We know that's on the schedule later this month. And it'll pick up again later in September as he goes out to do what other Democrats are doing and talk about the things they've passed. But for now, he's getting some R&R. We should point out he tested negative today for COVID-19. The First Lady is still in South Carolina, recuperating from her bout of COVID. She apparently, according to aides, joined some meetings virtually as she prepares for the new school year as a college professor over in Northern Virginia.
Oh, yeah, school's coming. Ed O'Keefe, thank you very much.
Take care.